All right, everybody, we are once again live. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Yankees Live, Murica, Guns and Freedom Chat. If you've never been here before, this is just a place to come for an hour a day and have a conversation with like-minded individuals, and it's a place for me to chat with my viewers. You don't have to chat with me if you don't want to. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. But if you do want to talk to me, that's why I'm here. So you can ask me questions, so you can suggest topics, so you can call me out if you think I did or said something wrong. You can even come in the live chat. Let me know how I was wrong. Educate me. Or you can come in the live chat if you just got something you want to tell people. If you do want to talk to me, the one thing I do ask is that you put at the Yankee Marshal at the beginning of every one of your questions or comments so that I can see it. If you don't do that, I won't see it. If you do that, I'll try to answer all of them if I can get to them. I can't always get to them. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Sometimes we run out of time. Sometimes I get distracted by something shiny. Sometimes we get a lot of super chats. If you've got something you definitely want answered, you can do a super chat. It doesn't matter how much it is, $2, $20. Those get priority. I answer them as soon as they come in. You can also get entries into the friend drawing via super chat if it's $4.99 or more. You can also get entries into the super chat. You can also get entries into the friend drawing, by going over to patreon.com/Yankee Marshal, becoming a patron of $5 or more. You'll get an entry for every $5. Same thing with Subscribestar. You can go over to subscribestar.com/Yankee Marshal and become a member. I got a super chat coming in here I got to answer that says, it's from 545 by 39. If I ever get shot with 40 and survive, I am going to sell my organic Skittles. I mean, I don't know how easy they'll be to sell. I mean, maybe if you don't tell people how you make them, if you just use the word organic and don't say what that means, which I don't think there's any regulations on what that means, because a lot of farms, they did a special where the organic foods they sell come out of the exact same garden the other food came out of. It just goes on a different truck, goes to different stores, and costs more. So I'd say that probably will work and should be legal. But like I was saying, if you want to get entries into the friend drawing, those are the ways to do it. You can also do it by being a WAP member. That's the people with the little icon after their name. So the little Mikey D's, the little Jumpy Killer Ox, I always call that, but I don't think that's what that says. Jumpy Killer QX, I think is what it says. But you can become WAP member. That'll get you an entry into the friend drawing every month. It'll get you a free super chat every month after your first month, and it gets you that little icon after your name, either a Mavis, a me, or a turnip. And that's how we know you're special. But those are the ways to get entries into the friend drawing. And then once a month, and it'll be this weekend, we'll be drawing a friend, probably tomorrow, that we will choose a friend. That person will be the friend for the entire month. And not only that, they'll get to spend a gift certificate worth up to $800 wherever they choose to spend it. So good for them. They can buy anything you want. I've had people pay off dental bills, credit cards. I've had people buy guitars, violins. I've had people donate the cash equivalency to a charity. I've had people use the money to buy to get a gift certificate to a shop local to them. You know, you can do what you want to do with it. With that being said, let's get on over to the chat and see if there's any questions coming in. Let me pan up as far as I can go. It doesn't look like there's a lot coming in yet. Did you see your rich uncle Hickok 45, the gun expert, on Fox the other night? No, I did not. I wouldn't care to. I don't know what he's being an expert on. He's not an expert on anything. He's a English. Was he an English teacher or was it a science? I think he's an English teacher, not a science teacher. I think he'd know more about ballistics if he was a science teacher. I sent a link to a Twitter video where Nadler wanted to raise the age to own a gun to 21, and Thomas Massey called his bluff on raising the age to join the military. I've been saying that for years. If they want to do that, well, then it's got to be everything. You're either an adult at 18 or you're an adult at 21. One or the other. You don't get to pick and choose which rights you think people should get and which rights they shouldn't. And you don't get to put conditions and circumstances on when people start to get their rights. If you want to say at 18 for some things, then it's 18 for everything. If you want to say 21 for some things, then it's 21 for everything. I'm all for raising the age of doing anything, including going outside, to at least 21, preferably 25. But I'm a little extreme on the measure. I would go 25. I might even go 30. I mean, if someone came in with strong opinions about making it to where you didn't have rights till you were 30, they probably could convince me. But right now, I'm going to say 25, but I'm willing to compromise for 21. So there you go. Looks like Art Dunham did a super chat, but I can't find it here. But I recognize his icon. Here it is, right here. It's his member chat for 21 months. Have you seen the new Walther WMP 22 mag pistol? I'm intrigued. I haven't really. I haven't taken a look at it. Let's do that right now. WMP 22. It looks just like all their other guns, which is not bad because all their other guns look nice. But it's a 22 Magnum, so that's kind of nice that it's a 22 Magnum. I wish there were more 22 Magnums. Let's see if I can find it on their page. Here, I'll share the page here so people can see what we're looking at. Where's it at? There it is. And while we're waiting for it to load here, Slapped in Public donated to the Pet and Vet Fund, got an entry in the friend drawing. Says 25 to be allowed to purchase adult magazines. Yes. Might create a bigger issue, Yank. Nah, everybody can get free porn on the internet. Doesn't just click the box that says yes, I'm 25. You'll be fine. No one's going to come check. I've never once had them check, so you'll be fine. Now I didn't get to. Kids these days can just look at porn anytime they want. They just got to click the box, or sometimes I don't even got to do that. When I was a kid, you appreciated porn because you had to find that shit, either in a box in the woods or in the dumpster behind the convenience store or pharmacy in your town, or maybe in your grandfather's dresser drawer or something. But you had to work for that shit. It wasn't free, and you didn't get to choose what you wanted. You didn't get to say like, "Yeah, I like it when fat Latinos step on Mexicans." You don't get to choose. It was just whatever you found, you made do with. Nowadays, they're spoiled. Got a super chat coming in here from Alan G. Why do people say having a gun is a God-given right? There is no God in the Constitution, so where does the propaganda come from? Well, it does not mention God or Jesus in the Constitution, and believe me, they were well known at that time. It says that people are endowed by their creator. That could be your parents or but people will take that and twist it all out of sorts. At no time do they ever say it is a biblical God, or it could be Zeus. You don't know. But it just says endowed by their creator. And they use that as a justifying statement for some things. But the whole idea that it's a God-given right is kind of silly. And I don't like that, because when people when people start to believe things like inalienable rights or God-given rights, then they think they don't have to fight for them, because they really start to think it's something they're entitled to and that they don't have to fight for. When we all know that's not the truth. So that's one of the reasons I fight against that kind of classifications. I got a super chat here from G Ford, who donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. Says, I miss the good old days of remote schooling. What are you, a kid? You still in school? Who in here? Well, there's some people in here school, night school usually. Well, school, I say school, it's usually AA or something. Same thing. Sexaholics Anonymous, something like that. But my kids hated and plus my kids were at a disadvantage because we don't get good internet up here. Okay, let's go look at this pistol, which I haven't done yet since I said we were gonna. See, it's nice looking. If you look at it there, it looks just like a nice Walther pistol, and don't ever tell me it's pronounced Walther, because we won the fucking war, so we get to determine how the alphabet is pronounced. If they wanted to be Walther, they should have started it with a V once they lost the war. Let's see, there's a full size. Wait, that's just the PDPs. I don't know about it. What size barrel is this thing? Frame, caliber, barrel length, 4.5-inch barrel. So it's full size, pretty much almost a full size gun. Not a 5-inch, but it's getting up there. It's bigger than a commander size 1911 barrel. Those are usually like 4.25. But yeah, it looks nice. How many rounds of 22 Magnum does it hold? 15 rounds of 22 Magnum. That's not anything to sneeze at. Now, I would still just rather carry a Beretta or a regular PDP, where you get, 12 to 15 rounds of 9mm. But to each his own, I guess. But if you're like recoil sensitive, this might be a nice little gun. I'll have to try this out. Slapped in Public donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. Got an entry in the friend drawing, says, at my Gamblers Anonymous group, I was told that I don't have a gambling problem. I have a losing problem. Well, that's all. If you were winning, you wouldn't be in Gamblers Anonymous. That's Gamblers Anonymous is one of those things you can clearly say it is for losers. Because show me the person who's like, I've been gambling for 10 years and I'm up 50 mil. That's going to go to Gamblers Anonymous. They're not. It's the ones that, I just lost the deed to my trailer gambling. Those are the ones that go to the Gamblers Anonymous. It's like Sexaholics Anonymous. The only people go there that are the ones that get told to by courts. They don't. If you're doing it and good at it, you don't go to Sexaholics Anonymous. It's a way for celebrities to get out of trouble. It's like when they say that they're exhausted, which really means, drug problem. Why does money say in God we trust? Because it was put there in the 50s during McCarthyism. Had nothing to do with the founders. Where am I at? Got another super chat coming in from. No, wait, did he do another one? Oh, it's over here. There it is. This is a regular super chat from Art Dunham. I just really like the 22 Magnum. I do too. And I think, I much prefer it over 22 long rifle. I wish the 1022 was 22 Magnum, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I would not mind having I guess it's because of the angle that they can't have more. If I had to guess, it's because if you look at the grip, you see how it goes at a sharp angle here, but then it kind of reduces the angle here. I bet you when you load the 15 rounds in, they only come down to about here. Because I'm betting once you get down into the lower part of this grip, there's not enough angle to put those rimmed rounds in there properly and have them feed reliably. So I bet the mag is limited because of the distance from here to here. But still, 15 rounds of 22 Magnum, which you can fire off really fast with very little recoil. Even little old ladies should be able to fire it off pretty quick. You could really shred somebody up with that. Don Mason says, just how effective is 22 mag as a defensive round? It's very effective. 22 Magnum goes through your liver. Guess what? You're bleeding out pretty quick. 22 Magnum goes through your lungs. Guess what? They're deflating pretty quick. Or, it's not going to pull them outside your body like 9mm, but it'll work. Also, we need another run of the Yank ballistic comparison poster. This time I'll buy. I think the people who didn't buy it last time kind of missed out because I think I gave most of the people who wanted one a chance to get it. So I have one still. I bought myself two, and I've got one on the wall and one in a box still. I've been saving it for like maybe a giveaway or something during the chat. Bustin' Butts says, got my new toy today. My new Taurus G2C in 40. Thanks to Timothy Butson helping me out. No birthday presents for me for the next 5 years. LOL. That's what they say. But I told my son the same thing about with the Audi. I ain't buying you nothing else ever again. But that should be fun. Those are actually fun little guns, and they're good little carry guns. I need to go buy about 4 of them this week because I got to get out the new, which I have not even looked at the list to see if the list is, if they've notified everybody. Let me see. Come on, people now. No, they haven't notified the April people yet. Well, we don't usually notify them till May. Wow, they're a month behind. They need to get it moving over there. We should have had that done by 15th of May. Or wait, am I looking at the wrong thing? Maybe we did April, but they need to get the list together. There's only 2 on there. They need to get 4 on there. And I need to start reading things before I run my mouth. It's not like me to do that. They shall. Depending on the source, it's estimated that guns are used defensively about 100,000 times a year. However, self-defense homicides only average about 500 a year. How aren't they closer to 100,000 uses? Because they're very effective. You pull a gun and 90, I think the FBI said 99, 98 or something like that % of the time, you don't have to fire the gun. Just presenting a gun works. That's why I always tell people, you're not fucking samurais. Just because you draw your gun don't mean you have to shoot it. In fact, statistics show just having it means you don't have to shoot it, which unfortunately could also show statistically that carrying an unloaded gun is almost as safe as carrying a loaded one, and clearly more safe for you to carry, but almost as effective for self-defense. But I disagree, because I think if you looked at a lot of defenses, really, it didn't get stopped just by seeing the guns. I bet someone fired a shot and either missed or fired into the ground or something, because that would really discourage someone. So, and it's way over 100,000. The number of self-defense uses a year by the FBI estimated self-defense with a firearm. I haven't looked it up in years. Let me. Let's see here. Let's see what the CDC says. They're not giving a number. Why do they not want to give a number? What's the common use of firearm? What are the different types of firearm injuries? What is it? This is not what I searched for. Firearm prevention. How often are guns used for self-defense? Let's see what NPR says. Let me look real quick here, then I gotta get back over to the chat. This is just according to Harvard University. This is saying that, gun self-defense is only equal 1% of actual violent crimes. Well, that's not telling me anything. You can always tell when someone's anti-gun when they don't want to really say the actual number. They're saying numbers from the CDC and the FBI have seemed to indicate that the numbers are closer to a couple of 100,000 defensive uses a year. But experts doubt those numbers because they can't find the victims. Well, that's not how math works. If the gun successfully stops a crime, it's this mindset of the left that for every time a gun saves a life, it has to take a life. I don't know why people are that bloodthirsty. Most self-defenses don't require killing somebody else. You prevent them from killing you by sticking a gun in their face. They run away. No one has to kill anybody. And you're not a cop. It's not your job to execute someone because they were a threat to you. So it just, their thinking doesn't make sense. Well, we doubt those numbers because there's not hundreds of thousands of deaths. They shouldn't be. If 99% of them account for, if there's 500, and and even if it's 99% that don't involve a gun, what's 100? It's basically 999 times 500. So that's a lot of defensive uses. Where are we at here? Even Christians agree that God was not born on planet Earth. So by definition, God is technically an alien. Prove me wrong. Think about it, folks. I can prove you wrong. He never existed. There's no factual evidence that anyone by his name did the things he did in the times he was supposed to do them outside of the Bible and other religious writings that have referenced it. They're just zero. There's some pretty intricate records from the places that existed back then. None of them show any of that. One, the whole thing about going to pay taxes, that would not have been at that time of the year. A lot of the places he supposedly gave sermons did not exist at the time he supposedly did it. They existed when the person who wrote it, but they didn't actually exist when he was supposedly doing it. So there's how I counter you. He didn't really exist. There's no physical record of him. Where am I here? Now that'll piss off some people. Where was I? I'm having trouble finding my location. Okay, here I am. Officer Tater Hater says, "Hello, Yank and fellow Pooty Toots. Had to boot another channel from watch list. Goodbye, John Burke. I hate bootlickers. He and Officer Tater are no different." I don't know who John Burke is. I know Officer Tater now, unfortunately, because of you, but I've still got that shared. Hold on. Oops. There we go. Send off that link real quick. There we go. Let me switch my sound to my headphones in case they come in. All right. I don't know who John Burke is. Please, not off the top of my head. Please don't tell me, because you told me who Officer Tater was, and now I have to live with that guy in my conscience somewhere, my consciousness. Caesar C. Kel-Tec PMR 30 holds 30 rounds of 22 mag. It's the clear winner. Yeah, if you like your gun to self-disassemble after the first magazine. Yeah, Kel-Tec don't win nothing. The PMR's a piece of shit. I would trust a Walther. I would never trust a Kel-Tec. Period. There's a reason why most higher-end gun shops will not carry Kel-Tec. Period. Just nope. They're like, for every 10 we sell, 7 of them come back at least once, and I would never ever. And the other 3 just didn't shoot them. Never trust a Kel-Tec for any reason, under any circumstances. Who's making sense? I don't know. That was slapped in the public. Asked that question. I don't know. But if they're in this chat, they need to fucking stop it. That's not allowed here. Got no time for that. Me either. I don't know what we're talking about though. But I got no time for that either. Who got time for that? Not me. G4, do you think the panic buying will start soon? No. Right now, there's not enough product to have any panic buying. So So nopers, I don't see it. Uh, Wish I was in a good mood today as I was yesterday. Yesterday was so sunny. I'm always in better mood when I've been out driving around in the sun. I mean, I'm in a good mood tonight too. I'm not in a bad mood, but I'm in my normal mood tonight. Yesterday I was practically giddy because I was driving my son's Audi around out in the sun, sunroof open, windows down, music blaring, and his car's got damn Bang& Olufsen sound system in it. I've got a Bang & Olufsen sound system in my Mustang too. It cost me an extra $2,000. I didn't know he had a Bang & Olufsen in there, and it sounds better, I think, than mine does. Although mine's a little better on the bass because I got a big bass speaker in the trunk, but his still sounds fucking awesome. So I rolled around with the windows down, just blaring music yesterday. You know, everybody's like, "That fuck these fucking teenagers," and then they see me and they're like, "Oh God, that one looks rough." That one's either got cancer or that Benjamin Button's disease or something. So they're like, "Oh, you do you go on," because I don't look like a teenager. A nominal snowman donated to the Pets and Vets Fund, got an entry into the friend drawing. Says, calling BS on that. 9 out of 10 gun shops I've been in carried Kel-Tec, if not more. Then you've been in some shitty gun shops. Most good gun shops do not carry Kel-Tec. Around here, we used to have, how many gun shops did we have before the great cleansing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had about 8 decent gun shops. We've only got like 3 in the whole area now. I think one of them carried Kel-Tec. I think that was Keith's because Keith never passes up a buck, but most don't carry them. Every great once in a while sporting system will get one, but they don't stock them. They just get them in their allotment or something because they're junk. In fact, the one they have on their wall now, the one I looked at, they're the ones that say, "Yeah, don't buy this; it's garbage." Everybody looks at it, they tell them, "Yeah, don't buy this; it's garbage." Plus, we don't want you bringing it back. Peter D, I just love when politicians remark about the deadliness of guns. Like, yeah, what do you think comes out of these things? Hugs and kisses. Well, they're good for harming things. That's why things don't hurt you while you have them, because you have the ability to hurt them back. If we're just talking like people on the street, and there's like a 19-year-old ruffian and an 85-year-old woman coming back from the grocery store, well, then his hands alone are quite deadly. Especially a pipe in his hand would be very deadly in that situation. That's why guns have to be fairly effective at being deadly too, so that little old lady now has enough of an advantage that that young ruffian with the pipe decides, yeah, this is not a done thing. I might die, or at least get seriously injured if I attack him. So not going to do it. That's the whole point of guns. They're the great equalizer, and there's a lot of deadly people out there, so they have to be pretty effective at being deadly, or else they're not going to equalize. If the other people know, if all guns did was give you diarrhea, there'd be a lot of people to be like, I could probably take them out before they shoot me, and if they do shoot me, all I'm going to do is get diarrhea. I have diarrhea all the time anyway, so big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and club that little old lady. Politicians just don't think these things through. Well, they're not good at thinking. Bustin' Butts asks, what's worse, Kel-Tec or High Point? Definitely Kel-Tec. Kel-Tec's way worse. High Point is the Cadillac of guns compared to Kel-Tec. They work. They work for a very long time, and they don't fail on you usually. So the number one point of a gun isn't to be pretty, it's to be functional. Pretty is secondary. Now, High Point don't do the pretty, but they got functional down. Caesar C. I wasn't saying the Kel-Tec was a good gun or a functional one. It's the winner because it holds more. Well, it also has a really weird, long, straight grip. Like, let's see if we can look up a picture. See if anybody's got a picture here on the internet with a disclaimer of do not shoot. or whatever. Yeah, see, if you look at the Kel-Tec, and this is one of the reasons they are a very uncomfortable gun to hold. Let me open the window here. Come on, go live. There we go. Well, that ain't what I'm looking at, but here, I'll just zoom in on it. There we go. Share this window. All right, here we go. If you look at the Kel-Tec, and one of the reasons it's, like I said, uncomfortable to hold, its grip doesn't have the proper the cut back at the bottom. You see, like how the Walther cut back right here to make your grip more comfortable. PMR doesn't do that, so the magazine, it's got room to stack all the way back to here, all the way down. Whereas if this was the Walther, the back of the gun would be over here because it's got a more comfortable grip, and the magazine could only fill down to here wherever the cutoff started. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Because I'm starting to not know if I understand what I'm saying. Slapped in public donated and says, got a haircut, get a real job. Oh, get a haircut, get a real job, and a real gun. Just saying. I don't need a haircut, do I? And I ain't getting no job. I want no job. Man, stop hassling me, man. So the man is always breathing down your neck to sell out to corporate Uncle Sam and get a job. I don't go for that shit. I like to lay in a field of wildflowers and stare at the clouds and think about how to better the world for my fellow man. I'm not going to sell out. In fact, I did that already for many years. I'm done. Sweetie. Some people are going to believe that I'm a hippie. I should explain sarcasm to people, because I got people today upset about my video I did today. One saying, I can't believe you're saying those things. Anti-gunners will use that against us, even if you're making it up. And I'm like, do you not understand satire? One person wanted to actually come in, slap the yank, and dispute the things I was saying I was giving incredibly misleading information to people. And I'm like, well, if you come into the chat, I'll let you in, but you're just going to spend the time being laughed at while I explain satire to you. So I probably should explain to people I'm not really a hippie. Sweetie says, I carry an M&P 40 2.0 in FDE with a 5-inch barrel. Can't think of anything else to say. I guess that's good to say, but you realize 40 is dangerous, right? Doesn't pull your lungs out, but it does do bad things. I think it makes people shit Skittles, actually, is what I read. And like I said in the video, I don't know yet if it's every time you shit, it's just going to be Skittles, or if when you get shot, you just immediately and continuously shit Skittles from then on out. Just like you just start then and you don't stop. Because that would be an inconvenience. I mean, if it was a slow one, like, a Skittle or two a minute, like that wouldn't be a problem. But if it was just like, like a garden hose of Skittles, that's going to end up being a problem. You're going to have one of those big lawn bags to walk behind you with. Or I guess just go commando and let it just go out your pant leg. But you'll leave a colorful trail everywhere you go. But the squirrels would probably like it. I don't know. Squirrels like sugar? I don't know if squirrels like sugar. Dogs will like it. They like sugar. All right. I'm done with the super chats over here. I can go back over to the live chat. I told my mom, 81, about what different calibers do to the body. She didn't think it was funny, but I did a half smile about the one that made you vote. But did a half smile about the one that made you vote third party. Old women got no sense of humor. Some old women do, but not most. Hold on, never in the family school.
What's up?
Are you still sick?
I got a little bit of a cough that doesn't kind of want to go away, but other than that, no. So,
You got the long COVID. You're gonna die.
oh yeah, this is the second confirmed time I've had it. There was also once last year where like the whole house got sick for like a week, but nobody ever got tested. So I don't know what that was, but each time it's been better than the last. So
Yeah, you build up a little immunity each time. It's like when I got bit by copperheads. The second time wasn't nearly as bad as the first
yeah, so but
time. First time made me feel like I was gonna die. Second time I just felt a little sick.
yeah,
Let's see here. And we got to be to the doctor right away the first time, but they're like, we don't really need to give you anything like anti-venom or anything for copperhead because of your age and your size. So you just gonna put you in overnight and see if you die. Well, make sure you don't die.
yeah.
I don't think they said see if you die.
Watch, see if you pass away.
No, I don't think they do that. I hope. Slapped in Public says the Skittles trail may help in apprehending criminals. It would if you shoot them and then they leave a trail of Skittles wherever they go. That would be,
Oh yeah,
it'd be easy to catch
that'd
them.
be handy.
And
And
everybody would go looking. Little kids would help you find them if
yeah,
probably. A lot of diabetic fat guys would be
yeah.
finding him. Of course, I might have trouble myself by going after them because if I shoot someone and they run and then there's a big pile of Skittles on the ground, I might get distracted because I like Skittles. Now, if it was Reese's Pieces, they could just run. I wouldn't care. I'd go after them because I hate Reese's Pieces.
Oh, I love Reese's Pieces more than fucking Skittles. I love peanut butter and chocolate.
I like peanut butter and chocolate, but I don't like Reese's.
Really?
Reese's Pieces.
Love some Reese's.
Hate them. I like M&Ms, no Reese's Pieces. Skittles really lost out on that because on ET that was what it was going to be. It was going to be Skittles, but then they wouldn't let them use it, so they used Reese's Pieces.
They done fucked up.
Yeah. Deshelle donated to the Pets and Vets Fund and said, "What would be the side effects of shooting someone with 45 gap?" They just laugh at you for making poor choices in guns.
Yeah.
You didn't mention it in your video. That's because no one should ever mention 45 gap. So it must be relatively safe and normally a normal round. No, I don't think, does it exist still?
I don't believe I challenge anybody to ever have actually seen a 45 GAP cartridge. I think very much like Iowa, it's just this thing that doesn't really exist. Like people tell us it exists,
Yeah,
but it doesn't really. I mean,
I've never met anyone from Iowa.
I never have either. I've met people who say they're from Iowa, but they're like, yeah, no, I moved here when I was really, really young. Like Honda. He says he was born in Iowa, but he doesn't remember anything but Colorado. His parents just told him he's from Iowa. He doesn't have any actual proof.
He's brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa doesn't exist. It's not real.
I was in the military for years. I don't think I ever met anyone from Iowa.
No.
I don't think I've ever gone to Iowa.
No. And if somebody tells you they're from Iowa, they're part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, you probably, if you like get a map and you go to drive to Iowa, next thing you know, you're in Kansas, and you're like, "Where the fuck was Iowa?"
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, we just passed through it," and they'll be like, "Really? Oh, okay."
Scrooge says it was M&Ms that missed out on ET, not Skittles. I heard it was Skittles. It might have been M&Ms, but I would have liked M&Ms better too. You shouldn't give aliens chocolate though. I'm not a big, you can't give dogs chocolate, and I also don't
like dogs, right? Like you might kill them.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Hard shelled. What do you call that kind of candy? It's kind of like a Starburst candy with a hard sugar shell on it.
Yeah.
What would you call Starburst? It's not taffy.
I mean, it's not taffy, but
what is it?
it's essentially just, it's a lot of the same ingredients that go into hard candy, but there are what do you call it? The types of ingredients that keep things soft and pliable when you're baking. Is that what it is? Emulsifiers? They put stuff in it to keep it from hardening up. But essentially, I mean, it's the same ingredients that they make hard candies out of.
I take some meds that do that. Make it where you can't harden up all that easy.
Oh shit!
Age will do it too.
I thought you're supposed to take meds that do the opposite.
No, I don't. I don't want that. Not at my age. That's not fair to anybody else. The old men, when the old men get the penis pills, that's not fair to their partner. Not fair at all. Because the women don't get crack or something to where they could enjoy it. They should at least get to be able to smoke crack so they can have at least a partially good time while they're doing it.
Well, nobody's stopping them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it is. I think people do stop you from smoking crack usually. I think the
Personal
cops
decision.
do. Yeah, it is a personal decision as far as I'm concerned. But a nominal snowman says, "I've been to Iowa. Elohim 2098. The moon is an egg." Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff you hear from people who claim they've seen Iowa.
Yep.
It's a conspiracy.
I think the ones that believe in the flat Earth with the globe around it, the glass ceiling and all that shit. It's like, you've been to Iowa, yeah, sure.
Now, is the conspiracy that there is no Iowa, or is the conspiracy that there is an Iowa? That's all been a conspiracy from the beginning.
I don't know which one it is. I do know it was started by the government, which is why, suspiciously enough, all the caucuses start in Iowa, where they tell you, oh, it sets the tone for what's going on, but really it's just the powers that be making the decisions on who's going to run, because nobody's really in Iowa.
Yeah, and have you ever seen the coverage of those things? I think they're just using stock footage from the 3 a.m. dinner rush at the country buffet.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like to me.
Yep.
Deshelle donated once again and says, "I actually been to Newton, Iowa." You don't believe him. "Got weird looks from people at the Love's truck stop there while I was eating fried chicken and watermelon."
That's right. He got weird looks because he was really in Kansas and kept calling it Iowa. And they're like, who is this motherfucker?
Or they're like, why is this guy where we're at? Because no one's supposed to come to Iowa.
Yeah.
I've never been to Iowa that I know of. I according to a map, I probably drove through it, but I didn't see anything, so it might not have been there. Now I know there's a Wyoming because I went to Cheyenne, Wyoming, because it was the capital, and I swear to God, I think it's just it's double wide with a wooden dome on the top of it. It was not impressive looking from the highway. Let's just say that. I stopped there and got gas. And the people working the gas station on the off-ramp did not seem like they were thrilled to live in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Let's see here. Where are we at now? Iowa Joe donated and said, "I was just getting better from the last time you guys said Iowa didn't exist. I'm going to start sending you guys the bills from my therapy treatments."
Yeah.
Iowa Joe, I think.
Your Iowa therapist, go ahead and send us a bill for nothing.
Delusional.
For a therapist that doesn't exist. That's fine.
Is he delusional or is he part of the problem?
It's 50-50 at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought that name Iowa Joe was sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because no one is actually from Iowa. Should we start calling 9mm Luger the 9mm Lunger based on Joe Biden's comments? No. I don't like the sound of that at all.
I don't think you should change how you refer to anything based on anything Joe Biden says. He clearly doesn't know. I feel like we've hit the point where just everybody around him should just be charged with elder abuse, including his wife, by the way.
They shouldn't let him talk to reporters without someone telling him what to say. Well, that's always been the case with him, though. He's always had loose lips. And now he's got that age where he doesn't, I don't know if he knows, the difference between thinking something and saying it out loud. You know how old people get?
Yeah.
My mom's like that. She doesn't realize the difference between thinking and saying out loud. So she just says out loud. Thanks for helping clarify what caliber to carry in today's video. So many options. My thing just jumped all the way to the bottom. Good Lord, I got to get back up to where it was at. I love smelling the rear end of a husky sheriff's cargo pants after a long shift. Well, I mean, who doesn't? Slapped in Public says Iowa mathematically enumerated with analytical trigonometry clearly states what Iowa is all about. Sorry, pets and vets. I'm convinced. I'm kind of sure a lot of those things in his sentence aren't real. Have you ever actually done trigonometry?
That's so long ago. I don't. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
take me
don't
to
even.
do it now.
I
I
could have.
forgot all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it could have never happened. It could have been I could have just been brainwashed by the
Yeah,
system, and they taught us something called trig.
yeah.
Uh, improving Cameron. I only brought 2 guns with me on a road trip. Which would you take out in the desert, Utah, BLM land? Uh, Shield 9mm, 25 rounds. River SPO1, 15 rounds. I would definitely take the Ruger out into the.
Yeah,
There's
take
not going to be a lot of big animals out in the desert though,
yeah.
so people are going to be your biggest problem. So I'd take the Ruger, not a river. If it's really a river SPO SP101, no. But if it's a Ruger, if that's what you meant to say, he's trying to improve. Cameron is obviously one thing he could improve is his typing abilities, his
Came
spelling.
off correct.
Yeah,
You didn't miss one from a nominal snowman.
did I?
Don't you dare insult Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Wyoming.
Wow, Wyoming. Yeah, it's depressing. Wyoming is. I mean, even the parts where people go, it's really pretty. I'm like, yeah, those rocks are different shades of beige.
I was in Wyoming once when I lived in Colorado, and there was a lot of drinking involved at that time. This was back in the 90s. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember why we went, but we left Denver and went into Wyoming for something and then turned around and came back all in the same night. And I don't even remember why the fuck we went.
I'll be honest with you. I think almost everything that happens in Wyoming involves a lot of drinking.
Well, you would think so, yeah.
Just to get through the day in Wyoming. Let's see, where are we at here? I read that. You don't have to lie about Keltec being as bad as you say. We know you're a closeted Keltec lover. Don't you own a sub 2000? Oh no, that's Matt that did that, not me.
No, I sold that one. My wife does actually own a P32, one of the late 90s, early 2000s models that I got from a cop down here who had used it as his backup. And I actually knew him, and she wanted, basically, she said, I want a little pocket gun, but I want something you're not going to give me shit if I trash it. So the Keltec was perfect because I don't give a shit about those guns. And it actually does work. I've shot it several times. It's actually, but then again, the P32 is like the oldest gun Keltec's made at this point. So you would hope they have it right.
No, they don't. But even if they don't, you can always get another wife.
It's true. So far, it's been a fine little gun. It's still a Keltec, but I don't give a shit about that gun. So she got her wish.
Slapped in Public says, "Oh, Wyoming is fake news as well." Or no, wait, Wyoming is fake news as well. Doesn't exist. Said slapped in Public. A nominal snowman says, WIDF, Wyoming International Defense Force, Yellowstone. But yeah, no one's condemning. No one's saying Wyoming doesn't exist. I've been to Yellowstone, or as I like to call it when I was a kid, Jellystone, because of Yogi Bear, because he's in Jellystone National Park, and I thought that was the name of it. Excuse me. Caesar C. What happens if you get shot with a solid silver 357 SIG? If you're a werewolf, it would kill you. You can't become a werewolf if it's silver. You would even if you're not a werewolf, you're going to become one. Kills you. If you're already a werewolf, you can't turn into a werewolf, so it just kills you. Who's talking in the background?
It's probably my kids being overly loud as
Tell me,
they walk down the fucking hallway.
They're out there. Shut the fuck up, you little bastards. This is why I never wanted kids.
I tell my wife all the time. I was like, you're the one that wanted kids to deal with them.
It's good. It's good for their self-esteem to do that. Let's see where we at over here. I have a B&O sound system in my Ford also. Nicest car stereo I've ever had. Yeah, those B&O sound systems are fucking awesome. They make I wanted to say Heckler and Koch, but that wasn't what I meant to say. Uh, what's the not audio?
Bose,
No, not Bose. Above Bose. Uh,
Klipsch.
no, what am I thinking of? It's the one that a lot of the German cars have. Oh,
Uh,
well, uh, let's just say the ones I'm thinking of make Bose look like trash, and the Bang and Olufsen's make those ones look like someone dug them out of a garbage can.
well, Bose are trash, by the way. I used to work for a really, really, really. I was a sales manager, at a really high end electronics store, and we sold Bose for retarded prices, and then used to laugh when people bought them because,
Yeah, they're
like, for instance, Bose, you would buy a Bose set of two speakers and a sub,
expensive.
and they were so ridiculously priced, and this was in the early 2000s, especially right at that point in time when they had first come out. You could go buy a full 5.1 surround sound Klipsch setup, which was 10 times better
Way
than fucking Bose for the same fucking price. And we used to laugh our asses off because people would come in asking for Bose because they saw the infomercial on TV. And it's like, look, I'll sell it to. And every time I always told them, I was like, look, this clip system over here is way better. And they just, well, I heard Bose, and because my friend has Bose. It's okay, whatever, dude. I'll sell you the bullshit for a retarded price. Go ahead. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care.
Definitely overpriced. They're like the Beats of modern day.
Yes.
I remember though back in the day, I got Bose in my car. You probably spent more because back when I was a kid, it was not uncommon for people to spend more money on their stereo system than they did the car that it's in. Was the thing to do back in the day. And the Bose, they'd be like, listen to the way it really emphasized the rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the speakers had
Bose
it sounded like they
is
rattled to me.
Bose are the Glock of speakers. In other words, they did a really good job early on with like promotions and shit like that, and they've managed to maintain that to convince everybody it's like the best of the best of the best when really it's just like a fucking mid-grade gun that's okay. And the
Mm.
only reason you buy a Glock now is because there's just so many of them, and magazines and accessories are just so prevalent everywhere. That's like, well, I might as well have one in my collection, right? Like, there's the only real reason to have a Glock because there's so many other better guns out there on the market today. That's
Well,
Bose.
and also a lot of people bought Glocks, claimed they were the best gun ever. They're perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
then when better things come along, then they have to admit that, oh, I had no idea what perfect is or really
Yes,
what good
exactly.
was. When my local gun shop owner is asked if he has any Celtics, he says, hell no, I don't want any of that garbage in here. The FBI and CDC stopped reporting those firearm death statistics. There was a Time magazine article on it. Yeah, because it didn't support the. Remember when Obama spent that millions of dollars on the study about gun violence and stuff, and it didn't
Oh
come
yeah,
back the way he wanted, so they just trashed it
yep.
because it came back saying, yeah, guns aren't really the problem. In fact, they probably save more lives than they take. And
Well, like the studies that they did from what was it from '99 all the way up until 2003, I think they did that one long study that was examining like early on and then real time throughout the rest of the assault weapons ban. And then in 2004, they came back and they did the study, and they're like, yeah, it
no,
had zero statistical effect on gun crime.
if anything, it actually slowed the decrease of violent crime in the United States and caused it to start increasing again. Because if you look at the violent crime trend it's going steadily down, steadily down. They passed the assault weapons ban, it's still going down, but at a slower rate. And then the last few years of the assault weapons ban, it starts shooting up.
Mm-hmm.
So it did not do anything. Someone says, "Where can I get a Heckler and Koch?" Well, he says Heckler Koch. Heckler and Koch is how it's pronounced. The last name looks like Koch. It used to be one of my teachers in school had that name. Her name was Mrs. Koch. That's how you pronounce it. And people would call her Mrs. Koch, and she'd be like, "Nope, nope, no, it is Mrs. Koch."
Well, good for her for sticking to it, you know.
Yep. Boo, 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 boo. If you could only have one gun from each of your 5 favorite gun makers, which guns would you choose? Oh, I have to think
Shit.
about that. 5 favorite gun makers? Let's see.
My 5 favorites: Beretta, Sig, Smith and Wesson.
So,
Uh,
Nighthawk. I like Nighthawk. Ruger. I like Ruger.
Ruger's okay.
I like their single action revolvers. Yeah. It's hard to think. Okay. Sig, if I could only have one, uh, probably be my X5. I really like the X5. Smith and Wesson, if I could only have one, it'd be Smith and Wesson 686 Plus or the 586 L Comp. That one might be preferred.
I'd rather have the 586. That bluing
Yeah, I
is
think I'll
beautiful in
take
that gun.
I'll probably take the 586.
Yeah.
Uh, Ruger, I would want my 44 Magnum Super Red Hawk. Super Black Hawk. Or no, I might take the Alaskan 454 Casull. I take the Alaskan Ruger Alaskan in 454 Casull, the Super Red Hawk. And then Nighthawk, I would take my custom 10 millimeter 1911 that I had built. I don't remember what the other one was. Who was the other one?
I don't know.
I don't remember who the other
Beretta?
one was. Beretta. Oh yeah, well, Beretta 90s. I'd take my my Langdon Tactical Beretta. But does that count as being from? I guess it does. They make them.
Yeah, it does.
I'd take my Langdon Tactical Beretta Elite LTT. All right, what's your list?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. It'd be a Beretta, a Sig, a Smith and Wesson, probably probably an HK AR style AR rifle, and then like a probably um
Who's your favorite AR rifle maker?
I mean, I don't really. Here's the thing: I don't have a favorite
Yeah, you
because
got to have a favorite one. That's the
I
question.
don't have a favorite one because there's plenty of good ones that are made. I
Well, then
prefer
you don't
building
get an
my
AR.
own. I prefer building my own, and I like my
I,
my
I
AR
was
that I built. That's got my FN upper, and then I built the lower. That's my favorite one right there. So I guess I'd say FN, like an FN fucking AR or something. Then I'd probably go with that. But then, like, yeah, with Smith and Wesson, I'd want a good revolver. Probably, like you're saying, a 586 would be the best choice there. With Sig, I don't know if I would stick with like my 1911 or if I'd go with like a Mark 25 or something like that. I'd probably lean towards a Mark 25 if I'm only going to have one. Um, and then Beretta, like I'd probably just take the one I've got, which is the 92A1. I love that fucking gun. Then a good AR from FN, and then I'd probably want like, and people gonna fucking laugh. I don't give a shit, but my fucking Marlin 3030. Now, granted, mine's from before they became Remlins, but my Marlin 3030, I love that fucking gun. It's one of, if not my favorite rifle that I own. Um, and so that would probably that's my 5 right there. 3 handguns, 2 rifles.
Chris Snyder said P's and V's. My 1022. That's it. What? That's all you would take?
No,
I don't know. I would
no.
got a lot of other choices other than that. A nominal snowman said Sig greater than FN, greater than Glock, greater than H&K. Fight me, bruh. I'll fight you.
H&K. So for handguns, like I get why a lot of people don't really jump on that bandwagon because they're very expensive, in my opinion, for what they are. Um, and not a lot of people have actually owned H&K. I know a lot of people
I
like
have. They're pricey.
they are pricey. I think they're very nice. I think they're very good quality. I've seen some that I would buy, on used market trade-ins and things like that. I would never pay full price for a brand new one because for what you're getting, it's very, very expensive. And I'd rather have a Beretta or a Sig or something like that in the same price range. But they're really nice guns. They are good guns. I do think
Yeah,
they are better
nice.
guns than Glocks for
Oh
sure.
yeah, they're way better than Glock.
I just think they're very cost prohibitive for what they are. They're very, very nice fit and finish, very well manufactured. I mean, there's no doubt. I've done trigger jobs on those things before for friends and stuff. And when you take one apart and look at just the work on the internals on those things and see how those pieces fit together, and you compare that to a fucking Glock, it's like there's no comparison. Just the level of
And
engineering and
just the
fitment that
ergonomics.
goes into it. Yeah, just the stuff
They're the
that
ones that
goes into it.
popularized that type of a very ergonomic grip that a lot of manufacturers use now.
Yeah, they're very nice guns, but they're just pricey.
The APA says that, and the APA for everybody, that's the American Psychological Association. A lot of people think it's the American Psychiatric Association. It is not. It's the Psychological Association. Says that only 7.5% of all violent crime in the U.S. is directly attributed to mental illness. Yes, but you got to pay attention to the study. They do acknowledge that the vast majority of criminals never receive a proper psychological analysis, so that number is probably far underreported. It could be as much as 25%. But even then, most violent crime, like break-ins, etc., most violent crimes don't involve killing somebody. They can be breaking and entering, assault at a bar, things like that. Those things don't usually entail mental illness. It's like domestic violence where someone gets murdered, or mass shootings, or running someone over with people over with cars. That makes up a small percentage of violent crimes. And those are the things that, when they're talking about, we need to stop mass shootings. Well, if you're looking at mass shootings, yes, a great number of them involve mental health. If you're looking at domestic violence where someone kills their kids and themselves, yes, a vast majority of those involve mental health issues. But when you just look at just general violent crime, like kicking in people's doors and stealing and stuff like that, or robbing them at gunpoint, that doesn't involve violent crime. Doesn't involve mental illness. That's just opportunity, and it involves, poverty and a chance to make some cheap, quick money. Abdominal Snowman says, got a USP 40, P30SK V3, P2000 V3. They're aight. I'll take a Glock 17 and G33 before them, though. Way overhyped. Don't get the love for their rifles. I'm not a big fan of they're nice, but I'm not the biggest HK rifle fan. I'm trying to make sure I don't have any. But things are what they are. I think their handguns are far better than Glocks. I would take one over a Glock any day of the week. And I will fight you on it. You come here, I'll fight you. I bite, though. I will warn you, I do bite. I'm not above biting. Where am I at? Over here. Are you doing a chat tonight?
Yeah, in about a little more than 10 minutes. I usually schedule mine. I know you usually go about an hour, so I usually put like a 15-minute gap.
Hour, 10 minutes usually.
Between you and me, so there's like not a lot of carryover or anything. So,
and people have been asking me, why do you keep your chats to an hour and 10 minutes? Well, it's a really simple thing. At my age, that's about how long I can go. When you count the 10 minutes it takes to get ready and get over here and get it started and everything, and then add another hour and 10 minutes to that, that is about my maximum span between bathroom stops. Like if I have a long shopping list at the grocery store, I'm going to use bathroom when I get there, and then I'm going to be like, I'm going to use bathroom again before I leave, just in case, because I won't make it home. So
yeah, when I'm doing the show just by myself, like tonight, I'm doing a show just by myself, and I did one last night. I'll go about an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. If I'm doing a full podcast with other people on the show or something, I can go for 2-3 hours, whatever, because I don't have to do all the fucking talking.
Yeah,
but that's about an hour and a half. If I'm the only one there and I'm talking, after a while, I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
Especially since I don't talk a lot during the day, because it's usually me alone a lot. There's like a 2-hour window during the day where I'm actually around my family. Yeah. Otherwise, they're at work or they're gone to bed and I'm up, so I don't talk a lot. And then I get in here and I do a video, and then I do this, and it starts to make my throat hurt after a while. Doing all the talking that I don't usually do. The Uvalde shooter's grandmother might never be able to speak again. Did she not die?
No, I thought it was reported widely that she did, but then apparently she did survive. She got shot in the head.
And I heard that she made it across the street and called the cops. So I was like, well, I didn't even know that. I thought she died.
Yeah, in fact, they were already chasing him before he even got to the school.
Yeah, see, that's how when I read the first, when they actually put out that radio station, and that news station got the actual timeline of the 9/11 calls and the officer reports, and it said that it started off like at 11 or something when she went to the neighbors and called the police that she'd been shot. And I'm like, well, I didn't know she was still alive.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then you see where, they were following him. He wrecks his truck, he goes into the school, they go into the school, they come back out, he starts shooting people.
Yeah, for like the first 3 days, they were reporting that she had got shot and was dead, and like that was it. And then, like later on, it's like, oh no, she's first of all, she survived. She was telling neighbors she got shot. She called the police. The cops were actually chasing because a lot of people were like, oh, because that was the other thing too. They're like, oh, it took X amount of time for them to even show up at the school, which is made 10 times worse by the fact that that he was being currently chased by the police
for shooting somebody,
shooting somebody when he went to school, and it still took the rest of the department that fucking long to get there. And then they didn't even.
It's 2 miles away. It's like 2 miles. It's 2 minutes. They described it as 2 minutes from the location where he lives. So,
and they were already chasing him. It still took them that long to get to the fucking school.
I'm starting to think, like I said, when more information comes out, I think they may have confronted him. He fired at them. They fled, and then he wrecked his vehicle. Or he wrecked his vehicle while they were chasing him. He fired at them. They backed off, and then he made it to the school after they backed off.
Well, and then the mayor and the police chief have come out and said they are no longer cooperating with with Texas's investigation. I think they've got DPS and the Texas Rangers leading the investigation into what happened. And they've said, we're not cooperating anymore. We've decided not to cooperate with the investigation.
I wonder what he said. His actual words were, I'm on the phone with them every day. He didn't say I'm cooperating.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm on the phone with them every day. Every day I tell them I got no comment.
Yeah.
That I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like when they were trying to cover up for the two officers that went in the school, saw him, and then went back out. That was clearly in the police reports, the radioed reports from the police. They radioed from inside the school. They radioed when they went back outside to wait for backup. They later tried to muddy the waters by saying they didn't go in because they had reported, they said, oh, we originally had meant the resource officer went in, but there was no resource officer. That's not what the original timeline said. It never said anything about a resource officer. It said two of the officers went in.
Yeah.
So they tried to clear that up by saying, oh, we thought there were resource officers on scene. There were none. That was never even something that was stated or in question. So they were just putting something out there that had nothing to do with anything to try to muddy the waters. And I guess these people like, what's his name? Officer Tater, and whoever that other John Burke guy is, are buying it and kissing their ass. Well, they don't buy it, but they're still kissing their ass. Are the Skittles coming out by themselves, or is poop coming out also? Of course, it's just Skittles.
Just Skittles.
If you're shitting Skittles, you're just shitting Skittles. Well, who would eat Skittles that had shit with them? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, out of someone's ass is one thing, but shit on them, that's another. They're clean Skittles. Well, as clean as the person, I guess. We are out of time. In fact, there's only going to be like 5 minutes here till Never Enough Ammo's chat. So we'll do a little break here. Oh, I got a super chat to answer first. I got two, actually, I think. Peter D said, handguns, Sig, Ruger, Beretta, Dan Wesson, Smith & Wesson, long guns, Henry, Ruger, Mossberg, Old Marlins, Old Winchester, in that order.
Good list.
That's good list. Especially for him. He's, sometimes questionable. True, the cops lied on the teacher about the door.
I've been hearing this. I don't know if there's any truth to it yet, though. Do you?
I don't know if they lied. I don't know what, because it's changed so many times. Originally, it was she propped the door open. Then it was she came out but didn't lock the door. She went to get her phone or something and did not relock the door. But those doors should lock automatically. Those emergency exit doors should lock as soon as they shut. So I'm not getting any information that I can actually reconcile with what seems right. You know what I mean?
It's probably going to be a while till we get some better details on a lot of this stuff.
Yep. Slapped in Public also did a little super chat here, the last super chat of the day, and said, plastic guns are plastic guns. No, that's not true. Just saying, it's not plastic, it's polymer. Still, here's this argument. So what's polymer? Polymer is a form of plastic. Basically. Yeah, it's just a different type of plastic. But plastic guns are plastic guns, but they're not all the same. Some are really well made. It's like saying all plastic toys are the same.
Yeah.
Or all dildos are just as realistic. It's just, no, there's differences. So yeah, there's big differences. There's a big difference. You feel a H&K and then hold a Glock and you'll notice a difference. But I guess you don't have it. Someone says, Easy Egg said, I hate enough ammo.
Why would you hate enough ammo?
I don't know why. I think he might have meant I have enough ammo.
No, either that or he hates me.
Yeah.
In which case, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean,
the more hate, the better.
That kind of goes without saying in here, doesn't it?
I feel like the emperor.
Yeah. I thought everybody hated you. That's why
I've been trying 12 years on YouTube, and I still have people show up to my shows. So
that's the only reason you come in here is because this is where that's why you hang out with us, because you got no other options. If you had other options, you wouldn't be in here.
Exactly.
Because it's toxic in here. But I want to say thanks to everybody for coming. I do appreciate it. Never Enough Ammo's got his own chat starting in about 5 minutes. So everybody take a bathroom break and then head on over there. You got it. I guess you don't got anything to say.
We'll speak over there. There we go.
All right. So everybody go over there and hear what he has to say. It's probably going to be something monumentally important.
Stupid, ignorant, pointless, probably. Yeah.
You got to lie to them to get them over there. Let them figure that out for themselves once they get there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But thanks everyone for coming. I do appreciate it. Remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.
Later, guys.